Hello everyone, it's JohnnyFerno talking. Welcome back to the next reaction video. So I took a bit of an unintentional break during all of December because life is just bulldozing me at the moment. And I will make some kind of update video later on this month to let you all in on what's going on. But until then, a new upload from one of my favorite creators here on the YouTubes, Wambu, has been put up. The top 10 Skul, the Hero Slayer Skulls. So, once again, he is covering a game that I am not personally familiar with. I know about, I've seen it on Tears of Grace.
What the?
And it looks kind of fun. Apparently, like, you put on skulls to get different powers, different power-ups and stuff like that. So that will be interesting to see, like, him diving into it. Because there is one thing I've noticed with Wambu's videos. As well as others like Green Scorpion, like their videos, like even if I have no earthly clue what in the world they're talking about, like I have no familiarity with the game, they still manage to make it fun, to make it interesting, and making me interested in getting the game. Hell, one of the reasons why I am started, I want to keep going at some point, streaming Spooky's Mansion of Jump Scares is because of Wambu. Well, so co-stars with me. It's like, it's fun. But yeah, I play Fire Emblem because of Green Scorpion and like other things like that. So I'm very excited to see if Wambu here can sell me another game. If not just be incredibly funny, entertaining, and good with his writing as always. Like, Wambu may be like one of the best examples of quality over quantity. Like, yeah, he does take some time to upload, but when he does, he's good. So anyway, my dear friends, if you all are ready to go, let us start watching the top 10 Skul the Hero Slayer Skulls by Wambu. In 3, 2, 1, go.
Howdy doody, everyone. I'm Merry Christmas. Today I'm here to sell you the top 10 Snows and Viddy Snow games. I got you a present. Take it.
God damn it.
Alas, poor New York. I was there, and it was gruesome. Who wants to commit Yuletide? I would, but I'm tired, so I'm going to wake up now. Ah, jeez. That was crazy. Oh damn, are we starting? What am I doing? What day is it? October 2020? That seems wrong. A nebulous, undefined time in the future? Well, that has like a 1 in 12 chance of being kinda close to the spook season.
Ooh.
Well, desperate times call for proportionately desperate measures. Howdy doody everyone, Wambu here. Sorry if I seem a little disoriented. I had a weird ass stream. You were all in
It's
it.
alright,
So
dude.
was my friend New York. Welcome to my humble abode, a dilapidated, abandoned mall where I sleep
do get
on
the
a pile
joke, yo,
of bones.
though.
I don't sleep
New
because I
York,
need to. I
York.
just like it sometimes. I guess you could say that in more ways than one. Skeletons are kind of a weird comfort for me. The idea behind them is pretty grim, so there's definitely utility in being scary with them unironically, but they're also so goofy, bumbling, and fragile that you could easily get comedic mileage out of them as well.
They could
When
be
it
the
comes to
darkest
media,
side
at
or
least,
the
I
lighter
just
side
find
of
skeletons
horror.
to be super endearing.
Nice!
Plus, they're quite easy to empathize with because, well, that'll be all of us someday. We all got skeletons, every single one of us. Quit looking at me like that. So it only makes sense that I cover this game that has been a huge source of good vibes for me lately. Skul the Hero Slayer.
Good vibes?
An action-packed
God
2D
damn it.
roguelike platformer that puts you, the player, as the goofy little skeleton fighting his way through the world of heroes that try to stop him. And don't let the cute, pretty, pixely art style fool you. This is not an easy game. I've done a ton of runs now, and I've only beaten the final boss like 5 times. Thankfully, though,
Damn.
there are many tools at the player's disposal here. See, the main character here, Skul with one L, isn't just a skeleton. He's many skeletons. Yes, by taking off his own head and wearing different skulls, the player can change to different forms, each one with their own unique stats, classifications, and abilities attached to them.
I
Like
figured.
most roguelikes, there's also a bunch of different items to get and stats to upgrade, but the skulls are what diversify
background
the
music.
gameplay more than anything. At the time of recording there are 36 in total, with monkey and gravedigger being the newest ones. And I'm gonna do what I do best.
Monkey?
Pick 10 that I really like and try to add some sort of justification to all my inane thoughts. Any rules? Next time you get a pizza, order it with the bone. Other than that, let's begin.
Okay, and like the art style is really good.
So something I didn't explain in the intro, but probably should explain now, I'm not being unprofessional, it works better this way, is that you can actually have 2 skulls at a time. So you can swap between 2 different forms at regular intervals, and doing so is basically recommended since every skull also has an ability or attack they do upon being switched into. This is important to bring up now because one of these skulls just couldn't even exist without this mechanic, cause he'd just fucking die.
Bomber. So it just explodes upon being summoned?
Like, you guys get the picture here, right? You see what the deal is, and if you somehow haven't caught on, spoiler alert, he's not letting go of the bomb. He will never let go of it. How does that one song go?
Cool guys hang out directly under explosions.
Something like that. So that's it. What? I'm some kind of Suicide Squad. Guys, what do you even want me to say about this? Do I have to explain what an explosion is or why it's cool? Because I will. An explosion is a rapid expansion in volume associated with an extremely vigorous outward release of energy, usually with generation of high temperature. This is fucking stupid. It might seem weird to pick this one as the first entry when there's 26 other skulls with more fleshed out abilities, but fuck it. I just think this one's hilarious. It can be a bit weird to use in the midst of combat, especially if you don't have the skill that lets you detonate it before the 5 seconds it would normally take. It really is best for initiating a fight. You see those guys over there?
Yeah.
Kill them.
Okay then.
Mission complete. You did it. Best ability. I'm being a little reductive here. In the bomber's path to becoming a demolitions expert, he comes equipped with skills that can upgrade the explosion of the bomb or drop little mini bombs. But even with those things, it's a simple but enjoyable moveset that always ends the same way. You know, like this.
If you want a very straightforward initiative to combat, boom.
You know those jokes people like to make where they take something kind of cute and by all means innocent and reframe the content of it to actually be rather horrifying? You know, like this. Look at this spherical monster. He's just walking around eating living creatures alive, and he's so happy about it too. If he could eat all these guys, then who's to say he wouldn't eat my kids? You get the point. It's a hilarious dichotomy and I am the funniest, most coolest person ever. But like, what if actually?
What if actually, what the hell is that? I mean, yeah, it's cool.
If Roadhog from Overwatch and Gluttony from Full Metal Alchemist had a weird skeletal baby, then that baby would be Ghoul. Or should I say Ghoul? Or should I say Ghoul? I can't even make that up. If this were top 10 naming conventions, then I think we'd have our #1 and I could just call it here. Believe it or not, to those out there that are already fans of this game, this might actually be a pretty unpopular pick, as quite a few people seem to dislike this guy. By far the worst skull in the game. It's too fucking big. I mean, I don't really think I look that big. I'm actually kind of small relative to everything else. Size doesn't even matter, really. It's about how you use your ghoul. I just want someone to explain to me what the problem is with my incredibly reasonable proportions. Right, so probably should explain how this happens. When the ghoul kills enemies, they'll occasionally drop little meatballs, which the ghoul can then absorb, increasing his size, strength, and overall protein.
It's fucking like Cho'Gath from
Boy
League.
is still a fit boy. This is thankfully pretty easy to do because ghoul's abilities are capable of devastating a lot of enemies at once and gobbling them up with his big whole stomach, which might seem disgusting, but personally I think it's rather efficient. Why even do the whole digestive system thing? I say just cut out the middleman.
Oh my god.
Now obviously there's still some conceptual problems with this. Being really big does make you an easy target, and you'll rarely get to take advantage of this power against bosses, but at the best of times, playing Ghoul is viscerally satisfying. He's the go-to skull for elongated fights against big hordes of enemies, as he's got the crowd-destroying power and size to make this game about a tiny skeleton feel like Rampage, and I'd say he's got the best snowball potential. Except for maybe.
Except for. Wait, is it literally a snow themed one?
Now, I ain't saying she a gravedigger. I don't even fucking like Kanye.
Oh
There ain't
my
a whole
god.
lot of skulls
Also,
in this game that have summoning as their
these
central
designs
mechanic.
are amazing.
There's the Carleon recruit, who has skeleton minions, and then there's the Gravedigger, who has skeleton ghost minions, which I guess means they're double dead. This is what I was saying about efficiency.
Respect for the
Death,
Shovel Knight,
never heard of her.
Lich
Just
Knight theme.
kill the boys twice over. Maybe it's because I've creatively pratfalled into a
Sorry.
Halloween pigeonhole, but I prefer the macabre in this context. In some ways, playing the Gravedigger is harder, though, because while the Carleon recruit can spawn his troops wherever, the Gravedigger needs the presence of tombstones. Oftentimes, you'll see these ghosty skeletons just sort of wandering around. If you hit them, they become
vibing.
tombstones, and you can summon your guys that way. Just to clarify, this is in no way meant to disrespect the spirits of those who have passed. We here in the gravedigging business take the ethics of this matter incredibly seriously. Anyway, what was I doing again? Oh yeah, beating up a priest with my army of the undead. The Gravedigger comes equipped with 4 different skelly buddies. Yes, New York, I have other dead friends, okay? You're still my bestie.
Also, why is
Anyway,
that
4 different
skull
skelly
from,
buddies, all with different moves and
Wind
all named
Waker?
after the works of good old Willie Shake and Bake. Macbeth slams the ground, Hamlet beats guys with a club, Othello raises spears from the ground, and King Lear throws beads. He's the bead boy. While you can only have 2 at a time, you can spawn multiple of the same one, and they last for a long time too. So especially after upgrading somewhat, it's easy to overwhelm large swaths of
Holy
enemies with
crap.
sheer numbers. And all of the skelly
become
buddies
your
are good too,
archetypical
leaving no
necromancer,
real
you know,
reason to
rise.
be particularly picky about which 2 you get, or to rank them individually: Macbeth, Hamlet, King Lear, Othello. Obviously getting them on the field requires some setup, but the Gravedigger himself is no pushover. That coffin he wields— oh god, there's probably a dead guy in there. Don't think about it, Wambu, just focus. That coffin he wields is more than capable of dishing out the damage on its own. Kinda like Gold Lewis Dickinson from Guilty Gear, a character that my friend and occasional editing buddy demanded I mention, lest I be marmalized. This better be good enough for you, Wave. But yeah, Gravedigger is a lot of fun. Kicking ass is all the better when you can heavily stack the odds in your favor by bringing all your dead friends. And I'd say he's got the best snowball potential, except for maybe...
It's just always. But yeah, we have
Get it?
many different
Frost
playstyles.
Skull.
There's just no one.
Snowball potential. Shut up, I'm very funny.
I knew that would come up at some point. But yeah, it's so fun to see
General
all of
rule
these
of
different
thumb,
skulls have
ice
their own
is an
playstyles.
awesome element no matter the game. Get out. Get out right now, this video isn't about you! So far I've covered 2 power skulls and a speed skull, but this one marks the first balanced skull, which in theory means you're kind of in the middle, but in the case of the frost skull means you're goddamn schnasty with both. Being real, cards on the table, we all love murder, right? And we all happen to have our favorite ways of doing murder, of course. Well, the frost skull happens to represent one
comments.
of my personal favorites. That, of course, being blunt force trauma with manhole cover. That sounds wrong, actually. Which of my favorites is it again? Okay, let's see. Freezing. That's it. That's the one. I don't exactly know why I have such a fixation with encasing my enemies in cold cubes, but I do. Is it a problem? According to my therapist, I could be freezing more people, so I'm actually making a lot of progress. You get
Kinda
frozen.
like your
you get
thing
frozen.
with
You
from-
all get frozen. You die normally.
Kinda
See,
like your thing
I'm
from
fine.
Kirby
If it seems like
Superstar.
I'm stalling, it's because the appeal of
64.
Frost Skull is pretty straightforward. He's basically a
snowflake.
physical mage rogue with ice knives. Okay, you know what? I take back the straightforward
what's the
thing.
title?
Frost Skull is indeed a very close-up fighter, but all his attacks are magic-based. They all look physical, but I don't think there's any actual physical damage in the whole repertoire. That's why all the damage numbers are blue. If they were physical, they'd be yellow. Guess I could have explained that detail sooner. I'm not being confusing, okay? I'm being mysterious. Ooh. I described Frost
And
Skull as a
understandable.
rogue also, though, because
I
while it's
follow.
not exactly speedy in terms of movement, it still has a very swift quality about it, on account of all of its attacks having virtually no windup. Every move comes out near instantly, and that
Wow.
right there may be the linchpin of Frost Skull.
That's
He
very good.
operates on sheer denial. I don't have a problem. I can stop whatever I want. Not that kind of denial. I mean denial of enemy advances. It's all about prediction.
fire
You see
design
an
was
enemy
cool.
on the offense, reject
big
them,
point.
say,
Why
at
not?
least buy me a drink first, because it's funny, and then cut into them like an ice cream cake. I just think Frost Skull is kinda neat. It's
Look
a
at
cool
these
fighting style that
graphics.
rewards good reaction time and steady pressure. It's fun. It's very fun. One day I might kick my freezing addiction, but today is a cheat day. La 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 la.
Okay, just gotta quickly pause for a split second before we're continuing. Wambu, I'm very sorry. I know you watch these, so I'm very sorry that I keep talking over stuff. My brain, my ADHD keeps wanting me to make comments, make jokes, but I also want to listen because you're good. A very interesting thing so far is that it seems like at least as far as I can see, each skull tries to have its own playstyle. Some with like complex mechanics and some very simple, like going boom. So that is really cool. The graphics, freaking amazing. Like I'm like, Wambu, why are you selling me another roguelike? I'm not done with Hades yet. I don't need to begin another roguelike play. But everything about this game is really cool so far. So, and there's a lot of experimentation, finding your own like preferred playstyle. I always love that variety in gameplay. So, mwah. So okay, let's continue. 5, 3, 2, 1, go.
So like, I might just be a weeb at heart.
Ah, samurai.
Look, fuck off. I just think samurais are cool. It's not an anime thing, okay? Fuck anime. I'm sorry, I don't hate anime. I just hate anime. Hey, everybody. I like swords. They're rad. But I'll admit that they're pretty ubiquitous.
Wambu is a sword character player.
Even in the context of Skulls, the skulls from Skul,
Smash
the
joke.
Skulls. There's certainly no shortage of contenders that could mostly be described as guy with sword. But I think it's ubiquitous for a reason. There's a lot of ways to make it work. You can make a sword so complex in its actual capabilities that it evolves into something beyond just a sword, or you can own a very swordsmanly archetype and just play into what makes those archetypes so beloved. You know, a chivalrous knight, a budding adventurer, a drunk, shitty-ass pirate, and of course my favorite, the samurai. I don't view the sword merely as a weapon, but an extension of my shitty video game takes.
A hero desires a sword, and a sword, and a sword, and a sword.
The sword is making him stupid.
I think the simple difference maker here is fighting style.
The
Others
sword.
might hold their sword to the high heavens, and then when it comes to fighting, they're just like... The samurai, on the other hand, is more patient, more disciplined, more elegant. The sword stays sheathed until the golden opportunity. And then suddenly your enemies are finally cut into thin cheese squares.
Such skill with the blade.
This might have gone off the rails a little bit. I'm more of a hot dog guy anyway. You know that stereotypical samurai thing where two guys slash at the same time and they just sort of stand there and the atmosphere is all intense and then one of them dies? Well, that's the centerpiece of the samurai skull. He always comes equipped with the single slash, which is basically exactly that. And it gains more power based on these little tallies that appear above the enemies with each hit. Build your way up to 5 tallies on an enemy and they'll take the full force of the single strike. Play your cards right and it's great for getting a big hit on a boss or just cleaving your way through a group of smaller dudes. It really is this quick thinking fighting style that I just adore. He's speedy, but you're also making all these little micro decisions to gain an edge and then build up to the killing blow.
Edge. Omae wa mou shideru. Nani?
Hey, that's a mummy. And also,
Mummy.
a thematically unrelated AK-47. I don't get it, but at the same time,
What?
I get it.
What? Why does the mummy have a... Brandon Fraser, is that you? What the hell?
Description: the guard that protected King Azarabia of the Netherworld. I mean, yeah. I guess that'd do it, wouldn't it? If there was one skull that grew on me the most during the time I played this game, it'd definitely be Mummy. It took a hot minute for me to realize I actually liked this guy, but once I did, he shot up all the way from the dog shit F tier to the dog shit S tier. Very different from normal S tier, but still S tier. To be fair to myself, I could see why he made a bad first impression. His movement is kinda sluggish, and without any upgrades, his primary fire ain't great. All it takes, though, is one upgrade. Just a single upgrade for his whole gimmick to click into place. As just a pure concept, I think Mummy just tickles me the most. I'm all for ghouls that eat people, or magic ice boys, or samurais. This skull is just some dude who said, lay me to rest with all my glizzies. And to be clear, it's not just the AK. It's also a flamethrower, a shotgun, and a rocket launcher. And it's also great, but also so weird, because that's just the primary. The skill set actually is way more Mummy related. You can bleed guys, poison poison guys, fire homing bugs that are way better than they have any right to be, or you could just yuck your head at guys and have them explode. Don't you
That
try
was
a
a
damn
fan
thing,
of the
New York.
Alliance
I see
from
you over
Warcraft.
there. I guess what I'm saying is that when you're not popping caps in asses, you can occasionally do things that remind you that you are, in fact, a mummy. If I sound like I'm kind of unfocused, like I'm hopping around disjointed talking points, it's because I am.
This is
Yeah.
what Mummy does to me. He's a gameplay smorgasbord and he doesn't fucking quit.
Have I mentioned the passive yet?
Oh god, it's still going.
Because it's a pretty cool passive.
Okay.
It does this. I'm not leaving. It's
Wait,
not killing
what?
me. I could just stay here forever. This is my territory
You're
now.
vulnerable
this
to
is
the death
Casa
spikes.
Wambu, and only I get to be alive in it. To explain, the
That's
mummy
really
doesn't
good.
take damage from environmental hazards. Fireballs, spike pits, giant plasma things, all a non-worry for the mummy. So I guess being from an area full of booby traps means you get used to them, like you're just numb to the
Thematically
pain.
makes sense, I guess.
So all of this is free
Mummy.
reign while the enemies
Yeah,
still
Doctor Who
take
joke.
damage from them. It's not an amazing asset, and it's hard to even remember you can do this mid-battle, but it's another layer of goofiness on top of an already wild character.
hell?
When I'm not doing this or this, I'm doing this. And personally, I couldn't ask for anything more. This is called living your best death, people.
I would have loved to have been at the meeting when talking about this
So during the bumper
concept.
sequence, I've
Like,
been
how did
looking
I come
over
together?
the legally binding YouTuber's lifetime contract. Every YouTuber gets one of these. We're just not supposed to talk about it directly. But what are they gonna do? Sue me because I made up defamatory legal documentation? Anyway, it says in this very official contract
of
that
that
I
laugh
am
kills
entitled
me.
to temper my
I'm
spicy
gonna read
takes
that later.
with at least one boring pick.
Shield. And Braum is not boring, so
Listen, I'm a top 10 maker. Our kind has a wonderful relationship with shields.
the good old fight.
We use media analysis as a shield for our insecurities, and we use humor as a shield for our inability to do media analysis.
For the last fucking time, nobody said there'd be fuck.
But even with this bias, I feel like this is conceptually a little plain. Literally, I'm holding a square and that's it. That's my weapon. Here's the thing. I can call it boring because I really like it. I put it at number 4. But if you call it boring, how fucking dare you? You may as well have stabbed my jugular. Don't even ask me where my jugular is. You haven't earned the right to fucking know that. What I'm really getting at through all this is that shield is a simple but very
God damn
practical ability. I'd call it the quintessential power class. It's very common, the attacks are strong, the combos are easy, and the skills
Simple.
are not too flashy, but pretty handy nonetheless. There isn't really any situation where shield is a bad choice. Maybe at first it can feel a tad lumbering, but by the time you upgrade it fully, you're just this armored bull man with a shield the
Damn.
size of your own body. For dealing with groups of enemies, he's got some powerful AoE skills. For initiating fights, you can just charge in and capitalize on the momentum, since dashing also does damage. For crushing bosses into a fine powder, you've got the aforementioned strength, and it's even good at keeping the player alive. Imagine a shield being used defensively. Now that's wild. Every time the skull is switched into, it gets a little HP barrier. It's small, but it can really be a difference maker at the best of times.
I can imagine.
Especially when you're low on health, any boost, even a temporary one, can go a long way. Plus there's also the concentration ability. When any version of shield aside from the first form charges an attack, they can
Very
nullify
unprofessional.
attacks from the front and hit hard in return. In the
Damn.
heat of battle, it can be hard to pull
riposte
off,
the
but with the
mechanic.
right positioning, it's like countering a sword swing with vehicular homicide. To sum it up, it's not the most conceptually exciting ability, but when it's time to get serious, when I'm done goofing around and I just want to win, I just want to be good at video games for once in my life, I will undoubtedly pick shield and then lose anyway. This game is hard, okay? Fuck off.
Kind of sounds like the fighter from Dungeons and Dragons and Pathfinder. Like, yeah, it's incredibly
To
simple,
start
but
this
if you
one
want
off, I'd
good
like to
work
quote
done,
a phrase from
big
an
fighter.
iconic anarchist skeleton from the far-off year of 2018. The saying goes like this: be gay, based, and more relevantly,
Do crime.
do crimes.
Exactly. My girlfriend's motto. Ooh. We're gonna be edgy up in this? Again, these designs for all the skulls are art. I don't know why I keep
I
doing
already
the chef
addressed
kiss
my
thing.
favorite archetypes when I talked about samurai, and a similar logic could probably apply to thief as well. Ninja also
ninja.
would have been number 10 on the list, you know, if I didn't
ninja
do
is his own
this.
thing.
I think in general, I just really like rogues. Holy shit, is that why it's called a roguelike? I mentioned before that all of the skulls have different classifications and commonalities.
keep thinking
Thief
Twitch
is both
chat is
my
over there.
favorite common skull
I'm doing
and
this now.
my favorite speed skull. It's the sort of game feel I really love, the kind where you're quick and nimble and quick and nimble. and just an
Those
agile
playstyles are
little
fun.
annoyance.
Sip and salmon.
With this kind of thing, I'm happy enough with just the basic fundamentals, but if I'm really here to be crime and or do gay, then I want a tool set that can go toe-to-toe with Duster. Nearly every skill in the set provides this while giving Thief some really handy extra evasive tools. He can do a dagger swing with total invulnerability, drop a smoke bomb which evades enemy attacks, and even this. Nothing personnel, kid. And you know what else? Some people like to steal from the rich and give to the poor. Some people like to full-on eat the rich. This guy steals from the rich and then kills the rich with their own money, which is at least 2 instances of crime doing / gay being. It does unfortunately cost gold to do this, but only 3, and that's not a lot at all. Especially when his basic attack and 2 of his skills will get you the same amount back very quickly. Speaking of which, I should probably touch on that. This game has a few currencies, and Thief manages to help with at least one of them. The overarching currency are these purple diamonds, which are used to get permanent stat upgrades or other miscellaneous unlockables. The main resource, on the other hand, is gold, which does not overlap multiple runs, but can be used by healing items and equipment. This is the one where Thief specifically comes in handy. There is a third currency, though. See, to upgrade the form of your skull, you gotta pay the spider lady here in bones. Wait, bones?
Bones?
I'm a skeleton. That's kind of fucked up. I have to sell the appendages of my friends to a spider in order to survive.
So, what business do you have with me?
I'm here to make a deal. What can I get for this human leg?
Probably not much, but I might give you a handsome price for that head there.
New York isn't for sale. He's family.
But it's a skull.
He's my friend. My point overall is that Thief makes it a lot easier to put priority into other resources, since you can better maintain a manageable amount of gold. You know, via all that crime. Unfortunately, that contract I brought up earlier states that I have to be a good influence, lest I corrupt young minds and turn them into philanthropy weaponizing bone traffickers. So here's Wambu's Guide to Criminal Ethics Lesson 1. Not all crime is equally cool. Murder, generally unethical. Tax fraud, you'll only get away with it if you're a billionaire. Loitering, yeah. Fuck yeah. Public indecency, why would you even? Having bad takes about BioShock, honestly, the worst one. Fuck you, Logan. More like top 10 loneliest YouTubers. Anyway, back to crime.
God damn it.
Stop right there, criminal scum! Nobody breaks the law on my watch! Then pay with your
Sorry, I think I blacked out there for a moment. I think,
so, to be
the
clear,
video blacked out.
I have beaten Skul before. A few times at this point.
Okay.
But seeing as it took me over 80 runs before I could accomplish that, I had to take to Twitter to commemorate the day I actually beat it. You did it! You did it! You are a true hero, man. I'd like to hear that more often. That just makes me feel all fuzzy. It was a real trial and tribulation, but at last I can present to y'all the face of true heroism. God, no!
What the hell is... Predator? Looks like Sam Fisher mixed with
For the
Master
record, the other
Yi.
skull I had at the time was Shield. See? He's right there. And that guy kind of makes sense for the role of true hero. He's gallant, he's bulky, he has a shield the size of himself, and he does his job to keep the player sustained. Meanwhile, the Predator. Sorry, that's a bit much. The Predator's job is to paint the walls with the blood of your enemies. And I gotta say, this place is looking pretty good. Hey, you missed a spot, by the way. Okay. I love you too. So here we have yet another power class, and indeed the Predator is quite strong, but to balance out, he's also... There is no balancing. He's really fucking strong. That's a great sword in each hand.
Guy's just...
That's 2 breads getting buttered at
like
once,
the Hulk
partner.
with swords.
Seems way too overpowered, right? Well, what if I told you that a semi-unique part of his kit is that he can spam the shit out of his skills up to 5 times consecutively, and they're all really good. Predator has a lot of inventive ways to just eliminate everyone with big swords. There's good old-fashioned clobbering, the drive-by, and the personal Wambu technique of choice, the pizza cutter.
That's good.
It's enough, slice this!
Now I know that might still seem overpowered, but what if I told you
It can get
that
even
he also
crazier?
gets a temporary power boost after a kill, and those boosts do stack, meaning just like the ghoul, the predator thrives in big groups.
Holy
Come by
shit.
yourself, you're in danger, but come with an
How
army.
much death can you pack into one class?
Hey, Gravedigger, nice to see you
Class.
brought all your dead friends. I brought mine too. Okay, so that's obviously still overpowered, and y'all are probably catching on to my bit and realizing that there will be no reprieve. But what if I told you he slows down time? Seriously, when you swap to him from another skull, time slows down
What?
for everyone except him, giving
Okay,
you
he must
more
be
than
hard
ample
to get
opportunity to
then.
make the first strike, or retreat, or just kill them before they even notice you. Each fight's just like,
Oh, fuck the predator. Ah!
I think I'm just gonna cut through the veneers at this point. I don't think the Predator really has a downside in any way, and
Really?
I am for it. Being the Predator isn't about being fair and balanced. It's about being a reckless, merciless, stone-cold killer who barely gives
when you want to
anyone
turn
a
your brain
fighting
off,
chance.
essentially.
I am the danger. I am the one who knocks. I am
the pizza on the roof.
If there is a takeaway from all of this, I don't want a damn thing to ever change about Predator. I love him so goddamn much. I've said it a lot already, but this game kicks my ass pretty often, and while Predator certainly doesn't make the game much easier necessarily, he makes me feel powerful, confident, and terrifying. It's a power trip that is so unbelievably welcome in a game like this, and has easily earned its spot among my top 3 picks. But what if I told you...
There's
Wait,
one.
fuck, I have honorable mentions this
Oh,
time.
okay. Honorable mentions.
Pretty fast, pretty vicious, a tad one note, but points
Ow.
for being doggy. Monkey. Pretty fun character when I feel like not fighting directly and just kind of being corny. I also recently finished FMA, and while I preferred Brotherhood, I think the overlapping stories were told better in the original. You know, it's funny, the original show is... It's fun, it's
Brotherhood
silly,
all the way,
and the predominant
favorite
weapon is
anime.
projectile knives.
No matter how much I clean them, the blood never washes out.
Pretty cool aerial fighter, but a tad awkward, and a lot of its skills
Damn.
kind of deaden its momentum. It's a grower, though.
How many?
Points for the creativity,
Ginny.
the power, and the beard. Plus, it's got one hell of a counter. This isn't a typo, by the way. This is how it's spelled in-game.
Gene.
Okay, if you still haven't got much of an image of how power skulls work after all my explaining, this. Just this. Everything this guy's
Big
doing.
boy.
The motorcycle alone
Rider?
got it in the
Ghost
honorable
Rider?
mention spot. The rest of the moveset is okay. Also, green fire. You're lucky I don't have toes to be
How many did you
stepped
say
on.
there were?
I
20,
guess this town is
23?
big enough for 2 of
27?
us. Unofficial number 11, I guess. Damn, look at that. I snubbed this dude really hard. And I'll
Holy
do it
shit.
again. He's still number 10, but he's number 11 now, too. I'm sorry I'm like this. I like this guy. This game really doesn't have enough dudes who fight with fists, but I do suspect this guy might be low-key kind of bad, so honorable mention.
There should be more fist fighters.
So
in
if
Final
Ninja gets bumped down to 12, then this guy would be 13, meaning
That's my
13 is the
favorite.
death number, and I get to scare all the Triskaidekaphobes. Thank you for
That
teaching
is
me
my
that
favorite.
word, Pharaoh Munch. It pays to be a hip-hop head sometimes. Anyway, I didn't have room for any legendary skulls to be on the list, but Grim is definitely my favorite one. And
Holy
finally...
shit. That's so cool. Wait, what's the top one? The Rock Skull?
Let's jam.
That's my favorite one. I don't care. I have not even touched this game, and this is my favorite one. That's my favorite. That's my boy. That's my bone boy. That's my Rocky Bone boy right there. Wambu, please enlighten me on the glory I just witnessed.
If there was a more batshit goof-ass skull in the entire game, there wasn't. And listen, stupid isn't always my MO, but when it is,
Oh my
the rockstar
god.
lifestyle really does feel like an enticing one sometimes. Okay, well, it seems like a miserable nihilistic swirl of drugs and debauchery, but if you remove that part, it seems really fun. The big fuck the system attitude, the kick-ass music, the complete overlap of bougie and fucking insane.
Yes, this is my $465 BC Rich Warlock in metallic red, truly an investment.
Fucking God.
This is another Skul with a pretty relentless playstyle, but instead of being a homicidal maniac, you're a chaotic dumbass who must never stop rocking and never stop being too goddamn much all the time. Aside from that one inexplicable attack where you dome someone over the brain with my life savings, the Rockstar is a magic user who is all about keeping the tunes bumping. The longer he plays his guitar, the more powerful his magic attack gets, and all of his skills help keep that momentum. He's got a cool outro slide, a solo to bring his magic meter up quickly, and best of all, the amps. Yeah, this absolute fucking goofnut can use amps to place pulsating shockwaves in up to 3 parts of the map, making him the king of area control. If all the world's a stage, then you best not be fucking with a half roadie. Rockstar doesn't just appeal to me as a fan of dumpster fires, but also as a fan of music. I'll listen to just about anything, but the 2 genres I fuck with the most when they're at their best are hip-hop and pop rock. And what I love about my favorite rock songs in particular are their ability to take those dark, miserable, or downright terrifying sentiments and elevate the mood to a joyous romp. This song, for example, is about entitled world leaders ignoring the concerns of the common folk and destroying the world through imperialism and war. It sounds, however, like a high-tier Sonic song. That's what the Rockstar Skul makes me feel as well. Like, no matter what kind of adversity or obstacle the game will throw at me, the sheer radiance of my unhinged buffoonery will be my light in the darkness. The power of an ass that is both dumb and bad. Nothing to break my stride, nothing to slow me down, just sheer awesome jovial bliss.
Fuck yeah.
In those rare moments of bleakness where my momentum halts and all hope seems lost, when the timing is just right, and I just need one more antic, a little more damage, a little more stage control, just one more bit of transcendent fucking lunacy to bring it all over the top. Number 1, without question, play us the fuck out.
Yes! Fuck yeah!
And finally, we're done. Oh my god. I know I woke up like 40 minutes ago, probably, but I could fuck up some sleep again. Peace out, y'all. That was fun. Good night, New York.
Good night, Wambu. Sleep well.
Holy shit! Oh, what a waste. Right. But what a freaking way to end it. Like, I was already on board with the game. I was already like, yo, this looks pretty freaking cool. I may want to try it at some point. Tell me how to get that skull. Tell me how to get the rock skull. That's gonna be my main thing. I don't care if I suck at it. I'm gonna play it and I'm gonna use that skull and rock the fuck out. Holy shit, that sold the game. As a massive fellow fan of music, I wanna be a music producer. I wanna get like a good music program so I can actually make my own instrumentals and stuff. I wanna get that. I am always really attracted to music-related weapons and classes in video games. Like, Bard in Pathfinder / Dungeons & Dragons, one of my favorite things. Oh my god, that made me so... Dude, you have no idea the amount of adrenaline you just shot into my body with that class alone. Which is, you know, being a rock star. Never mind. Dark jokes. Anyway, that was a fun video. I am sad that I ended up talking over some of your bits because I wanted to make some commentary, make some jokes. And I don't know how to do them properly. I'm unprofessional as hell. But I am still, I was gonna watch this later no matter what. So that's just gonna fit into it. But yeah, that was fun. You introduced me to another freaking game. Another game I want to play. But like I said, I haven't finished Hades yet. And now you're making me want to play another one. God damn it. Oh my god. But I forgot to say this in the beginning of the video. But the link to the thing will be in the description below. So... I am so mature. But like I said, thank you so incredibly much for that video. It was amazing. And I hope you enjoyed my reaction. And I hope that all of you enjoyed watching my reaction to it. But before I go, I want to give a massive quick thank you to the amazing people over at my Patreon who are still supporting me to this day, and I cannot thank you all enough. Those people are Ace Attorney Fan 621, Coffeein, Loquacious, J-Rock 1989, Matthew Donovan, Anime Gaia 1, Bookworm, and Danish Faye. Thank you all so incredibly much for your continued support. I seriously cannot thank you guys enough. You have been a lifesaver for me so many freaking times. And yeah. So, like I said, I will be posting another video later on, like an update video to just talk about how I've been and plans and so forth. And I do have a couple of reaction videos in the back burner I need to get out, including the last part of my Hell of a Boss reaction with my girlfriend Katri. But until then, my dear friends, thank you all so incredibly much for watching. Please be kind to each other, and never forget to treat yourselves once in a while, because you freaking deserve it. So until next time, my dear friends, my name is JohnnyFerno, and I'll see you guys next time.